Hey guys, it is Mrs. Hopkins, and welcome to another fantastic edition of How to Draw Something with the one and only Mrs. Hopkins. So today we are going to learn how to draw a Pacific Northwest animal totem symbol, okay? I'm going to go with something that's a little easier to start, and we're going to go ahead and make a fish. And if you feel as though you're comfortable with this and you want to go ahead and make a different animal symbol, you can, but we're going to go ahead and do this one together. I suggest that you use a pencil. I am going to use a marker just so that you can see my lines, but I recommend you start with a pencil and then you can always trace over it. All right, so here we go. Your paper should be horizontal, and I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to make a long U shape. And I'm going to connect the top. And at the bottom, I'm going to make another U shape with a curve at the top of it. And then I'm going to make a sideways U shape with a line on the side. Okay. In the front of that, I'm going to make a line that comes out and curves just slightly curves. I'm going to bring that line back in a little bit, and then I'm going to bring that line back out a little bit longer. From there, I'm going to make a line that goes up a little bit, and I'm going to curve around to about here for now. Eventually we're going to curve around more, but for now we're just going to leave it at that. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to start in this part here. This is like the mouth area. And I'm going to make a line that goes up over toward the front and down. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to make a short line here. Now, the lines that I make now, these are kind of the guidelines for where I want to put the black at. So I'm going to, and you can do this with your pencil. This way you'll know what areas are going to be black. So I'm going to make this bottom part black. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make this bottom line a little thicker. I'm going to make a slanted line on the side here and fill that in. I'm going to make a line on the right side and fill that in. And then across the top, I'm going to make a line that goes over and curves down. And I'm going to fill that in. And again, you can do this with pencil and just go over it with marker later. Once I have that, I'm going to put a circle in here. And around my circle, I'm going to make an arch above it. And I'm going to make a line that slants down and slants down. The circle stays white. The area around the circle is going to be filled in. Okay. Same thing with this shape here. I'm going to fill in these two shapes. Okay. The next thing I want to do is there's lots of line work in this, but I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go with the main shapes first. So inside here, I'm going to make a line next to the eye, and I'm going to make my line come down, and I'm going to have it curve and go back up. So there's going to be a lot of line work in here. So what I want to do is I'm going to make some basic shapes. I'm going to make a sideways U shape. And I'm going to go down and come back up. And then I'm going to make a line that goes around it. So that shape in the middle is going to stay white. The area around it, I want you to shade in with your pencil so you know that that area is going to be black. Okay, remember, you can go over all of the shaded parts with marker. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the side of this a little thicker. So you're going to shade in the sides all the way around and make this edge a little thicker. Okay, once you have that done, you're going to make a letter U and another letter U next to it. You're going to connect the top and you're going to fill in the outside of that U. Above that, I'm going to make a line, a thick line that's right above it. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to make kind of like a fin. So I'm going to make a line that goes out and is going to curve back in. And again, all of your lines are going to be thick black lines. So I can make a line next to it. And I know that I'm going to shade this in because that's going to be a thick black line. Okay. I want to make a shape, two shapes inside this fin. So the first shape I'm going to make is like a sideways letter V that curves on the side. And I'm going to fill this in black. Next to it, I'm going to make kind of like a teardrop shape with a teardrop shape inside. The inside shape is going to be black. Then right above that, I'm going to make a little triangle shape. Okay. Now I'm going to keep curving this body around, okay? So what I want to do is I'm going to start by the fin, and this fin, I'm going to go ahead and make this line a little thicker. All of these lines eventually are going to be thick. I could even do this right now, make this bottom line thicker. So when I get to this side, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna curve. I'm gonna pretend this curve keeps going. And I'm gonna curve it down about this area. So it's a little bit under the mouth here. Okay. I'm going to go under here, leave some space, and I'm going to bring this up and around. Now, right on the left side here, I'm going to make a line that goes right next to that. I'm going to start at the same spot. I'm going to bring it up and make it wider as I go up. And then I'm going to connect it with a thick line. Same thing, I'm going to trace this so it's a little thicker. And I'm going to make the other side thicker. I want all my lines to be thick black lines. Okay, inside this space right here, I'm just gonna go down and up, kind of like a V. And I'm gonna go down to a point and up and fill this in black. In this space here, I'm going to go down and up like a V. I'm going to connect it. I'm going to go down and up like a V and connect it. And I'm going to fill in that triangle shape. Then around it, I'm going to make these lines nice and thick. Okay. What I want to do next is I'm going to make kind of like a line for the wide part of the tail. So I'm going to start at the side here, and I'm going to make a line that goes down and curves up. I'm going to start at the side, I'm going to curve down to the middle and up and out to the other side. And again, I'm going to go along this whole line and make it thicker. Okay. Inside here, I'm going to make a shape that looks like a teardrop almost. And I'm going to make a teardrop going the other way. So what I want to do next is I just want to go around the outside of my fish. So I really want to make sure the outside edges are thick black lines. So I'm going to go ahead. Take your time when you do this. And you just want to go along the outside of the whole thing. I'm going to touch up this part right here. But I'm going to go around and just make this really thick. This part here is a little thicker than I want. Okay, whatever. We're just going to go with it. We're going to act like I did that on purpose. And we're going to make this nice and thick. And even on this side, I'm going to make another line right next to it and come all the way around. And I'm just going to fill this in with black. So there is a lot of thick black lines. And I'm going to turn my paper so it's easier for me to fill this in. Okay. So once you have all of your lines filled in, take a look at it, see if there's anywhere that you should make your lines thicker. I see one more spot where I should make my lines thicker. That's right here. I'm going to go around that and make that thicker. Okay. So this is my Northwest animal symbol, right? So it looks like a fish. So a lot of the colors that were used were like a red, like a dark red or a blue. So I'm going to keep some shapes white. Some shapes I'm going to fill in. You could use crayon, you can use marker, use whatever you have. So I'm going to go in and I'm only going to use 3 colors at the most. My main color is going to be this burgundy color. So I'm going to fill in the main part of my fish. And one thing to save your markers is don't go back and forth like you're coloring like a crayon. When you do markers, you want to kind of just do 1 row at a time so that you don't dry them up right away. And take your time. I'm trying to make my lines go in the same direction. Because, you know, if you spend all the time drawing it, you want to take your time to color it neatly too. Okay. So once I'm done with this color, and I'm okay with it, I'm going to decide, do I want to add blue or do I want to just keep it red and white? I think I'm going to throw in a little bit of blue. So right here, I'm going to make this shape blue. And I'm going to make this shape blue. And why not? Let's go crazy. We'll make this shape blue. Okay. And you know what I'm going to do? I feel like I want to put in some little triangle shapes over here. Because I feel like this needs a little bit of blue. You don't have to do that, but I just feel like it needed some blue over there. And we'll even go around the eye. So you don't have to make yours look exactly like mine when you color it. You can color it the way that you want to. I'm even going to go around these with some blue. What do you think? Okay, and there we have it. So this is my Pacific Northwest totem animal. And I want you to go ahead and try to do this step by step. If you feel like, I got this, you can try a different animal. All right? Remember, don't use more than 3 colors. Try to stick with the 3 colors. Red and black are mainly the colors we see. Sometimes it's red, black, and blue. Okay, guys, have fun with it. I can't wait to see what you come up with.